Part 1 was only the beginning. Now, let's get into the game modes of Video Game All-Stars Ultra Warriors. First up, I think the most obvious game mode we need is Arcade Mode. I mean, what fighting game doesn't have a game mode similar to Arcade Mode? Either has an Arcade Mode or similar. Like Smash Bros. Has Classic Mode, all the All-Star Brawl games have, of course, Arcade Mode, and probably every single fighting game has Arcade Mode, so this one has it too. And of course, each character would have specific endings depending on what you're playing as. So, yeah. We'll get to the story in the next part, but for now, this is just Arcade Mode. You go through, depending on the difficulty, because there will be 5 difficulties. Very easy, easy, medium, hard, and crushing. Crushing being the hardest difficulty. And depending on what difficulty you have, the stages and player AI, I guess, would be changed. For example, if you're playing on very easy, it'll only be 4 stages and a boss that's super easy. If you're playing on medium, it'd be 6 stages and a boss that's very easy. If you're playing on crushing, then it's a boss that's incredibly hard, along with 12 stages. Yeah, you're in for the long run. But you know what's even longer than that? 18 stages, 1 very hard boss, and an even harder final boss in the secret difficulty. Absolutely insane. Why would you do this? That's the literal name of it. And you'll unlock it by beating Crushing with every character. DLC not included, obviously. But come on, man. We gotta give rewards to the players. So, yeah, we'll talk about extras kind of after part 3. So anyways, the next obvious mode is, of course, Versus Mode. This is a no-brainer. I mean, every fighting game needs to have a Versus Mode. Now, this is the thing. Of course, it's going to be a 3-on-3, as you can see on screen, because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of the best fighting games ever. But, of course, we need... How do we fit the character roster onto this sort of thing? Like, okay, I don't even know what I'm saying. The thing is, how would we... Also, if you're wondering, I'm not reading off a script, so that's why I'm thinking. I feel like we could do 3 types of versus modes. You could either do just 1v1s, 2v2s, or 3v3s. And there would be 3 extra modes on top of that. Player versus player, player versus CPU, or CPU versus CPU. Essentially spectator mode. So yeah, that's what you can do. There's also online versus mode where you can tackle players from around the world. And the same options are here, except this time there's only player versus player because it's online. Anyways, the next obvious game mode, at least for me, is the story mode. Showing on screen right now is a ton of games, fighting games, that have story modes. By the way, the image is from some user on Reddit. Not me, but someone else. So credit to them for getting this up. As you can see, Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, Mortal Kombat, just Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Gods Among Us, Mortal Kombat X, Street Fighter V, Injustice 2, Dead or Alive 6, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Mortal Kombat 11, Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, and Tekken 8 have fleshed out story modes. At least to some extent. We'll talk about the story in the third part, but obviously there's 3 save files, and you can start one save file and just keep going. Of course, the difficulties from the arcade mode would carry over. Very easy, easy, medium, hard, crushing, and the secret difficulty, seriously insane. Why would you do this? So, anything else? Absolutely. The extras menu, because, I mean, every fighting game needs an extras, so what would be in the extras menu? Well, there'll obviously be a character gallery showing off concept art and whatnot. We'd also get kind of like demos, trailers, stuff like that. There'd be specific artwork you can get. You can listen to the music, view character alts, character profiles, and so much more. Yeah, it's gonna be stacked. But how do you unlock all of this? Well, simple. There are 3 ways to earn these. You can either A, beat arcade mode with characters on each difficulty. The higher the difficulty, the more rewards you'll get. B, through events online, kind of like the Battle Pass. Yes, we're putting a Battle Pass. No, this is not live service. Or C, you can do it through the shop. Speaking of which, the shop. This is where you can get some of the unlockables. By the way, the image is provided by Capcom's on the Street Fighter 6 website. Anyways, not just the Street Fighter website. Anyways, so the shop is where you can just kind of get stuff. You can get colors, costumes, buy DLC straight from the shop, which will take you to an external link where you can purchase the DLC from the online store. Steam, Switch eShop. Yes, this is going to be on Switch because Mario and Kirby. PlayStation Store, Microsoft Store. You know what? It's just, yeah. But as for what's inside, well, there'd be two types of currencies. Coins, because of course there's going to be coins, and, green tickets. Why? Because A, I feel like tickets would be fine, and B, I like green. Anyways, so, coins would be used to unlock colors, artwork, music, intros, and I guess stages, which we'll get to later. But meanwhile, green tickets would be used to unlock the better stuff: costumes, outros, taunts, better stages, I guess. And yeah, but who would the shop be run by? I feel like having it being run by, I don't know. Ooh, Charles Calvin. Because what else am I supposed to do? Anyways, well, there'd be multiple shops. You see, the costume shop would be run by Charles Calvin, while the color shop will be run by Adeline from Kirby. Get it? Because colors? Never mind. What else? The intros, outros, and taunts shop would be run by DJ from Street Fighter. Because he's a dancer, why not? The extras, like music, artwork, and trailer stuff, would be run by Alexa from Pokemon. Yeah, that. Anyways, the other shop, the DLC shop, would be run by, I'm going with Mr. Krabs. And this is perfect for a couple of reasons. A, DLC is a greedy way for companies to get your money just so you can play as Akuma in Street Fighter 6. B, Krabs loves money. And C, he's willing to overprice small things. Alright. So, I said stages. We've got the stages. So now we get to our fighting background stages. Fine. Stages. Also, some credits go to CG7 for some of the ideas and some of the screenshots. So to this one of his OC. First up is Retro City. This is the main setting of Video Game All-Star. It's essentially that city kind of place. This is what the stage would look like. And if you're wondering by the Abigail Scrap Metal Shop, yes, this is Metro City Bay Area from Street Fighter 5, but I'm turning into Retro City and adding some things to it. Firstly, I feel like adding Shredder's Metal Shop from TMNT Tournament Fighters would work as that in the background. And also, I feel like having at night sometimes, and there'd be a night variant. So there'd be two variants, a day variant and a night variant. The day variant is added by default, while the night variant you need to purchase at the shop. And with green tickets, because of course. Why? Well, I feel like it would get banned from tournaments because there'd be a fireworks show going off, and it'd show just random video game box arts in fireworks style. Well, the simple ones at least. Things like the Mario RPG box art for Switch, Super Mario Bros. For NES, Sonic 1 for Genesis. Not Kirby's Dream Land though. Moving on. Next up, I took the skyscraper under construction stage from Super Street Fighter 4 and turned it into Big Apple 3 AM from TMNT Turtles in Time, because, of course. Now, because of that, here's what had happened in the background. Baxter Stockman, the boss of the stage in Turtles in Time, of course, would be flying around in the background, as Harrier from Space Harrier would try and shoot him down. Because what else am I supposed to put in the background? Next up, a stage for both Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Ultra Street Fighter 4. Yeah, I'm kind of getting unoriginal, but hear me out. Theater parking lot. Now, I know there's not a theater in the background, but if we could add a theater, I'd put Shining, Glowing, Sparkle Theater. Because sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Anyways, yeah, this should just be it. However, there would be chaos going on in the background. And when I say chaos, I mean literal chaos from Sonic the Hedgehog fighting, I don't know, Zero from Mega Man Zero? Yeah, that one. Next up, an original stage. That one being Planet Popstar, Kirby's home planet, before he went to Earth. So, how would this be? Well, you kind of just be a mix of, like, greens, a lava area, an ice area, and Lala's castle. So, yeah. Also, there'd also be two castles. Of course, Lolo and Lala's castle, and Dee Dee's castle. Next up, the Mushroom Kingdom. Basically, it's a place where Mario visits Peach often. So anyways, yeah, this is how it would look like. It's just some blocks, trees, pipes, and a tower, and then Peach's castle in the background. But I feel like we could also have, I don't know, like the Deadly Six kind of just running around while, let's see here, Sledge McRush from the Top Hat Clan just tries and slam him down with the sledgehammer, along with Jeffrey Plum, with a gun. Next up, basically the regular main fight area. Yeah, you thought Retro City was the main fight area? You're wrong, it's this one, the Pokemon Stadium. However, unlike what's shown here from this screenshot from Ultimate, instead of just like the spectators being regular humans, it'd be a mix of characters. Plants, zombies, Waddle Dees, Waddle Doos, several Pokemon, kind of like small Pokemon, toads, small animals, and some stickmen to fill the crowds. And also, I feel like having an energetic announcer could fit, so I'm gonna put it in Mr. Puzzles from SMG4 because he seems quite energetic to be an announcer here. And yeah, he'd get even crazier every time you lost, so yeah. But you get happier the more you win. But, so, essentially, if one player wins, then on their screen, he would show a happy reaction. But if another player loses, on their screen, he would show a crazy reaction. Kind of like getting more insane by the second. But, on the other hand, what if you were playing versus mode against a second player? Basically, he would just get confused on who to root for. But then, once someone gets a win, then he would root more for them. So basically, if they lost, he would get an insane reaction, and if they won, he'd get a happy reaction. Yeah, it's gonna get complicated. The next stage would be this bridge. However, instead of it being over a pool of water, as you see here, it'd be over a volcano. I tried doing it, but the bridge was closed. So anyways, yeah, this is how it would play. And occasionally, I don't know, a Magmar would just pop out of the lava, so it kind of just be there dancing on the rim of the volcano. Moving on. Also, editor's note, the creator of CG7 just sent me a clean picture, so we no longer have Rupert Price. Now you have CG7. This is the CG7 that's going to be in this game. Anywho, so, now we get to Green Hill Zone, because, well, I had to put Green Hill somewhere, so it wouldn't get too boring. So, yeah, here's Green Hill for those who would make the same, what about Green Hill zone comments. But yeah, it'd just be like this. So who would be in the background? Well, since Silver isn't a playable character, might as well make Silver the Hedgehog a background character. And make him fight Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, so it'd be a true Silver versus Trunks. Talking to you, Death Battle. So anyways, next Sonic Zone will be Studiopolis, because of course it's going to be Studiopolis. But what would be in Studiopolis? I said Studiopolis so much. Well, as you can see here on this picture by Reddit, we have Heavy Gunner, so there's something. We have a dancing Eggman that looks like a rubber hose. But I feel like adding Bendy in the background somewhere, like he'd just kind of kill Eggman with a shotgun, and then just Bendy would pop out and start dancing. Heavy Gunner would shoot the picture, and then the Ink Demon would kind of just blech on him. That. And then Montgomery Gator would hit him with a golf club. I'm getting creative with this, so stick around. Alright, this is the perfect stage for this game. Driftwood Shores from Garden Warfare. Now, we all know Garden Warfare 1 is better than Splatoon 1, right? Everyone can agree with me? Right? Anywho, so basically, yeah, it's kind of like this, but the Mega Flower would be on a constant threat by perfect X-Men character Juggernaut. I'm throwing ideas left and right, but however, it'd be defended by War Machine. So next up, we have 2 stages from Indigo Park, because there's just so many locations, and I feel like Indigo Park would get pretty unique. First up, we have, of course, the main gate entrance of Indigo Park, which I feel like we should have Phantom animatronics in the background, despite it being Indigo Park. Because, well, I mean, it's Indigo Park, what do you expect? However, we would have, let this be a mascot horror stage. Have Bucky Beaver from Shipwreck 64 kind of just try to get the Phantom animatronics. And then the next stage is Molly's Play Area, because why not? So how would Molly's Play Area go? Well, of course, Molly McCaw would be there, but also Eclipse from Security Breach would be there as well. And also Mr. Peterson from Hello Neighbor would be trying to kill them both, despite the fact that he couldn't really. The final Indigo Park stage we'll be adding is Rambleberry Woods from Rambly Rush. I think that's what it's called. It's a game inside of Indigo Park, so I feel like we could do something like this. Pixelated arcade characters instead of pixelated Indigo Park characters. Things like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Pong, Paperboy, what else? Galaga. Anybody else? Oh yeah. And to top it all off, we can finish with falling Tetris blocks. It's amazing. The final 3 stages will all be from Nickelodeon. The Bun Wrestling Ring, Fire Masters Meeting, and Rooftop Rumble. First up, the Bun Wrestling Ring. So obviously, even though he'd be running the DLC shop, Mr. Krabs would still be in the background, cheering you on. However, periodically, Akuma would show up to kind of kick the snot out of Mr. Krabs and see if you're worthy of the Satsui no Harawi. Next up, Fire Masters Meeting. So, in the background, we just have Zuko doing this thing. Of course, I think that's the Dragon Dance, maybe? Yeah, I think so. Meanwhile, Eternatus, the Pokemon, would fly out into the sunset and just start laser beaming the ocean, prompting a Gyarados to come out, and guess who's riding the Gyarados? If you said Mugman, you're absolutely correct. Anywho, the final stage is Rooftop Rumble, a TMNT stage. So, we would have the Foot Clan in the background. However, we would also have the Mad Gears, I think that's what it's called, for Street Fighter, and they kind of be rivaling it out while Splinter and 80 Splinter and 80 Shredder would just be duking it out in the background. Alright, so that's all the stages. I guess we'll move on to what's next. Heroes and Heralds, but we're turning into good versus evil. So yeah, it's kind of the same concept as that Heroes and Heralds mode from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You either choose the good side or the bad side, and you try and hunt down team leaders on like different locations. However, instead of cards, we'd put a spin to it. And by spin, I mean literally every time you're spinning a roulette to see what power you'd get. So you'd either get like power up, like attack power up, defense up, speed up, or something to help you out. There'd be several assist characters, and they'd be pretty small. Things like Puka from Pac-Man. Just saying that one thing. I'm thinking, ooh, how about that Robot Kitty Balls from Hi-Fi Rush? Robot Kitty Balls. Anyways, so Heroes and Heralds, you got assists, power-ups, and the final thing to be added to Heroes and Heralds would be, of course, you would get skins. However, Heralds, I don't know, it's kind of lame. In Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you can, if you win as Team Heralds, you can get Herald skins that are literally just metal versions of the fighters. However, in this good versus evil mode, instead of that, you'd get a premium costume it's just a premium costume. For example, if you win as Mario, basically if you win as a character, if you win as Mario, you'd get his original 1981 Donkey Kong appearance with that slick mustache. And CG7, CG7 could probably receive. Okay, I know I said earlier that Garden Warfare 1 was better than Splatoon, but I feel like CG7 could get a sort of Splatoon haircut for one of his costumes. It's conclusion time. So, that was all the game modes you could get in Video Game All-Stars Ultra Warriors. Part 3 will definitely be a big one. It's the story mode. Now, depending on my skill at writing stories, it will depend on how long it is. But anyways, as per usual, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to 100 subs, by the way. Two more subscribers, and it's 100 sub celebration time. But yeah, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Come on, say something.